Welcome to the second lecture online on YouTube for Social Work 310. I wanted to just address a couple comments that I received in the response reports from last week regarding Dr. Kubler-Ross's stages of death and dying. Now, these stages are very prevalent in society today. Professionals across the board have known and used them, as well as many lay people who have heard about the stages and have applied them to their own lives and families' lives. But to stay true to Dr. Kubler-Ross, I used the stages of death and dying that she proposed. Now, because her stages were so applicable and made sense, people have taken those and kind of run with them, and it wasn't really her intention. And actually, the original intention was stages that one goes through upon hearing catastrophic news, and of course related that to death and dying. That was her area of study. But these stages could be applied and generalized in so many different ways, not just grief, but also loss, but again, not being true to what her original intentions are, I did not include that. Let me give you a quick example. Okay, my car won't start. And so the first thing is, I cannot believe it. My car won't start. I'm turning it on. Nothing's happening. I check everything. Oh my gosh, this is not happening to me. Okay, what stage is that? Denial. Okay, you got it. All right, then next, I'm still trying to start my car, and I am like, please, car, please start for me. I will get you into the shop right away. Just need one more time. Start. I'm getting late for work. Please, please, I will do anything if you start. Okay, what stage is that? Bargaining. Okay, next, I am getting mad. Ooh, this car, I hate this car. Why didn't I take, some advice and buy a new car? I should have done that before while, I had a chance. I knew this, car wouldn't last me very long, and so I am mad. I am late for work, and I am mad. Okay, what stage is that? Of course, anger. Next, I'm still in my car, and it is not starting, and so I am just beside myself, and, there's nothing left I can do, so I'm just going to call AAA, and if they have to tow this car away, then so be it, because I am done with this, and I'm late now, so what do I have to do? I have to finally accept it. Anyways, that's just a silly little story about how the stages are applied to, a lot of different areas, and I thought I'd just throw that in for you. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started with our regular lecture, and we're going to be talking about cultural competence. To get started, what I'd like to do, we always do some definitions, is to talk about what cultural competence is. And it's a set of values and principles and demonstrated behaviors, attitudes, it's policies, structures that enable social workers to work with others cross-culturally. It's also the capacity to value diversity, to conduct self-assessment, to manage the dynamics of difference, to acquire and institutionalize cultural knowledge, and adapt to diversity and cultural contexts to the communities we're serving. Okay, that sounds good and easy, right? That's social work kind of skills. But also, taking it a step beyond, it's looking at all aspects of policymaking, administration, practice, and even service delivery, involving everyone, the consumers, stakeholders, and communities. So we're looking at cultural competence, not just being an individualized, well, I'm doing that, but looking at it on micro, meso, and macro levels. Also, cultural competence is a developmental process. It's not something that we just all of a sudden we have it. It's a process as we're learning and as we're growing. We're gaining skills, we're gaining knowledge, and it's really kind of based on a continuum. And we're always moving forward and learning more. Now, we always have to look at the history and the significance because it's so important to know where we came from and why we're even doing this. So the roots of cultural competency can be traced back to the civil rights movement. The legislation, the war on poverty, the increased diversity due to immigration, the beginnings and growth of ethnic-specific organizations, and even bilingual education. So grassroots activism and social movements begin to advocate the system, and we came up with the idea that we are a multicultural society and that it would be important to have good understanding and being able to have the skills and knowledge to work and value one another. Now, let's get started. Let's do it. So, how do we do it? Well, first, we always have to start. Before we change the world, we have to change who? Yes, ourselves. Now, it's important that we know what our cultural lens looks like, how it affects the world, how we see the world, and how is that a distortion of our interpretation of other cultures. We need to understand that those differences may affect our perception and our ability to interact with others. So knowing ourselves, knowing our bias is so important. And we all have bias. I mean, that's established. We all have bias. So what are those so we can begin to overcome them and set them aside, fully aware, and be able to move forward.